Invincible season 4.
Oh yeah, pulling up on my phone.
The first 3 episodes.
Woo!
Izzy, I know you've been excited for this, man. I've been excited for it too, but I know you've been very excited. You're the invincible guy. That's what they call you at work, man. So let's get into it.
Do they really call me that?
You said that they called you that.
Oh, at my work. At my old work. Yeah, that is true. They did call me that. Yeah, that's true, because my phone case. There you go.
Boom. Yeah. Invincible guy.
Boom. Yeah.
So, Invincible guy. Mm-hmm. How was episode 1?
Here's the thing. I think it just makes, for me, mental sense. Let's just go. I won't say anything specific about 1 through 3, but let me just say, watching all 3 of those, absolutely incredible. I'm having so much fun. Like, it just feels so good to be in a world that I love so much, that I'm so comfortable being in. And it just feels like we're back, dude. We're so back. They're doing the thing. They're making it great. And it feels like we never left. And that's what feels awesome. You know, it didn't feel like I had to wait 2-3 years for another thing. It was just like, hey, we're back. We're here. And it was good. I really enjoyed it.
I don't want to hear no complaints about the animation, too. Please shut up. Please stop. I'm sick of it.
I think, you know what's funny is I think we're done with that conversation.
Please, though.
I think unless it like is, once major stuff starts happening, it gets really bad. And we're like, all right. But at this point, I think that's a very boring conversation, because I feel like we've had 2 seasons of talking about it. And at this point, who cares? Nothing's going to change. So let's just lock in and enjoy it for the ride, you know?
Oh, yeah, man. But just like you, I'm so excited. I was sitting there eating my little sandwich going like, oh, this is so good, man. We are back. Invincible's back. And he's going through some stuff like usual. But
he's going through some stuff.
I think this one's a little worse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. You know what's funny is I've been watching a lot of Invincible content lately. Just watching people like talk about the comic, talk about the show, whatever. And I watched a guy today break down. I wish I could plug his YouTube channel, but I do not remember his name. But he was breaking down season 3. And what's really funny, it's something that I've just noticed, is I feel like every season, like, Mark is just getting progressively more and more sad. It's like, sure, every season, like, he's getting beat up physically. Dude, every season he's getting beat up mentally. Like, I feel like every single season it's just like, we start off on the most depressing, like, man, I'm so sad. I'm just trying to get through my day. And honestly, without like spoiling much, I'll just tell you, first 10 minutes of the first episode was very much like, here's the aftermath of what has happened previously. And dude, it literally feels like season 3 and 2, because season 2 does the exact same thing after the Omni-Man versus Invincible fight, where it's just him flying around and saving people, but he's sad. Obviously, everything's changed now. Going into season 3, similar thing where he just freaking like dealt with him and Amber getting broken up. The village, someone's coming, we don't know who that is, and freaking Angstrom just beat up his mom and traumatized his little brother, and he crossed the line he didn't want to. Yeah. And you see that going into the 3rd season of just, man, going through it, doing the hero thing, but he's going through it. Yeah. Season 4, the exact same thing. And it just feels even more sad. It feels darker this time too. And it's just such a good show, dude. It's such a good show.
Oh man. Do you want to get into a little
we can get into spoilers. Let's have some fun. All right, full spoilers. Let me just preface this. We have to say this early on. Me and Phil have both read the comic book, but don't you worry. We will not be saying anything about anything past the first 3 episodes on how we think it's going to go. We won't be theorizing at all. Genuinely not. And if we ever do theorize, it's purely for there's something that's going to happen that has never happened in the comic book. For example, this week's episode is something that's never happened in the comic book before. I would like to have a discussion about that with you, where we think that's going to go, because I think that's fun. But don't worry about spoilers. It's not going to happen. If there's a slip up, Mr. Tyler's going to edit it out, and I will make sure to catch myself and beat up Phil if he spoils anything.
I mean, if you can.
I can't. I literally can't. I'll die. But yeah, so let's get into it, Phil. Episode 1, we are here. A lot of stuff going on, okay? Mark is so sad. Quite frankly,
you just started saying he's sad already, and you just
so sad.
He's so sad.
He's so sad. Oliver, so sad. Like, he's so depressed. Adam Eve, she's so sad. Everyone's so sad. It's just really hard to watch. This episode is called Making the World a Better Place. And honestly, like, it's a lot of just Mark dealing with the same old, villains of the week. But can I be honest? That's why I love this show, man. The world is so cool. It's so awesome. Even when it feels like there's none of the Viltrumite stuff happening, I'm still like super locked in on what's happening with Mark and Eve's relationship, or Mark and Oliver's relationship, or Debbie and Paul's relationship, all that stuff. And there's a lot of that in this episode. So Phil, I want to start with Mark and Eve. All right. Eve is going through a lot right now. Mark is also going through a lot right now. Eve's powers aren't working, and Mark is sad. There's just a lot going on.
They're so sad.
How do you feel about the way this show is portraying the relationship?
I think they're doing a pretty good job, but I'm not gonna lie, man. I kind of like the comic book a little more.
Ooh, elaborate.
I feel like there was more personable stuff. I know this one, there was like in season 3, I believe, the episode where like Mark goes to that other dimension or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Those brothers.
Dropkick and something. Yeah.
I forgot, but there was that like nice moment, and like there's nice moments that they have, but I just feel way more into it in the comic books. Like this, I still am into it, but it doesn't feel as strong and as like it doesn't draw me as much as the comic book did. But it's still good.
Yeah,
still good, but I prefer the comics.
I relate to that actually. And for me, what's weird about it is not that I think the show is doing it a disservice, because I actually think it's doing great. And the way I'm able to like react to Invincible now is through other people, where I get to like watch my friends watch it and they're like, oh my gosh, oh I love this, I love that, whatever. Or listening to people and seeing Twitters and seeing tweets of people talk about like, hey, I love that they're doing this. That's kind of how I have to experience it now, because for me, I've experienced Invincible and Adam Eve's relationship. Yeah. Like I know how it goes, I know what happens, I know the things, whatever. So a lot of this is not treading any new ground for me. So I feel like that might be what it is for both of us. That might be. We're like, because I think it's happening beat for beat the exact same. To us, it's just different because we've seen this already. Yeah. You know? But I mean, their confrontation with Universa, really cool. Woo! I like her a lot, and she's really sick. I will be honest, I just wanted a little bit more from Eve versus her, because they like, I know in the comics it plays out in a similar way too, but seeing her bust out that scythe and sort of clash with Universa's staff, I was like, oh, I kind of hope they do something here. I hope they do something. And they kind of didn't. And I was just like, man.
I was shook when she just came up and she was just like, boom, because I was like, you that powerful?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you powerful, but dang, you holding up with her. She just knocked out Mark.
Yeah.
But I really, what did you say her name was again? Because
Universa.
I was watching it. Universa. I call her Thor Woman.
Yeah.
She literally is just
She's Thor.
When she threw the staff and it came back to her, I was like, that's Thor. That's Thor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Wonder Woman and Thor. But it was cool. Like, I think that Eve's punch took me out too. When she just came out and boom. And I went, you just knocked her out cold. Did that happen in the comic books?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I forgot about it, but
I think
seeing it in the show, like in full motion, I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if it's not Eve, it's for sure Mark. Because what is the whole thing is the reason why this isn't like a big fight is because she's so powerful with that staff. And then without it, she's literally nothing. Yeah. And also Eve, everything going on with her powers. Like, it makes sense why there wasn't a big fight. I remember just seeing that in the trailer and being like, ooh, I wonder if they're going to add a little something. And they didn't really. But yeah, cool stuff, whatever. The really thing I want to talk about is Oliver and Mark. Because right now, that's my favorite relationship.
I think the first thing we see in the episode was Ollie playing on his like little PSP Game Boy thing.
His Game Boy Advance playing Pokemon.
And
great choice.
He was playing Pokemon?
He was playing Pokemon, yeah.
Dang, okay, all right, Ollie. But you see Mark coming in the room, and he's like, hey, still got to go out. And I was like, ooh, this is about to be awkward. And Ollie's like, why? And I went, oh.
So different compared to in the other season. He was like dying to get outside, and now he just like doesn't want to.
And he's like, I just came back. And then Mark's like, we still got to go out there. And I'm like, bro, I'm starting to feel it. And once again, we have our very first like conversation on like being a superhero or like realism to it, because it's like it's not just like a job where you clock in and clock out. It's an everyday thing, like
24/7.
And them like showing that, and I'm guessing a 14 or 15-year-old Ollie, where it's like, bro, I just want to play some video games. Like, come on. And Mark's over here like, oh, it's 24/7. Come on, we got to keep going. And he's just like, bro, I just want to chill. Like, come on. And So then you have his mom come in, then like Mark's putting on his costume again, about to go out, and his mom's like, you can like chill for a second. And him having that conversation is just like, no, it's the way they look at me that keeps me going. Like, I pretty much did this to them. Like, it wasn't technically me, but it was me's that did this to them. And I just got to keep going out there and doing the best I can to show them that it's not me. And I was like, oh.
And that's what makes
That got
Invincible
me,
the
man.
best, right? I think it's a
Yeah.
lot of those. I think we talk about The Boys in the way that it chases realism, especially I think with like corporations controlling soups. And I think that's well and good and cool and whatever. My favorite part about Invincible is I think it takes the wackiness of like comic books and other characters and other tropes that we know, but like I feel like brings them down to earth, makes them really grounded in a way that I can just very much relate to. Because I think that like Mark's experience of in the third season, right? Hey, I'm doing this thing and like I'm gonna do it to the best of I can. And then he gets to a point where no, I need to look out for my family. I'm tired. There's other people that can do this. In the Invincible, he's like, I don't want to deal with this, right? There's other people who can do it. There's other superheroes. To now seeing that, like, no, you, like, this is, you have to do this. Like, this is your job. And seeing how that takes a mental toll on him on how much he doesn't want to go. He just wants to sit and eat his food.
Yeah.
But instead, he can't be home for more than 5 minutes without something happening. And he has to go deal with it. And I just think that's my favorite part of the show. It keeps it interesting. It keeps it relatable. Because I think we all have experiences where it's like, this shouldn't be my responsibility, but unfortunately it is. And that's the situation that you're in, and you have to deal with that. And I like that the most. And I think Oliver's like the best example of that too, because Oliver was so excited in the third season, just get out there and have some fun. And now he just wants to sit there and play on his Game Boy Advance. He is not having a good time. He's just like, dude, I want a game. But I think this episode when he gets his new suit. Is that the first or the third episode?
Yes. Actually, I don't think so. I think he got in the third episode. Because it was the Red and Black one, right?
Yeah. I
I
couldn't
think that was
remember.
the third
Okay, I
episode.
want to talk about that in a little bit, but we'll jump to the second episode because I don't think there was much really going on in the first episode outside of.
Wasn't the first episode Mark
Oh,
doing the
shoot.
thing?
Oh, my.
Before we do get to the second episode, let's talk about that.
Oh my gosh, I
real quick.
forgot about that. His
'Cause-
first, like, blatant kill. You're right.
Oh my goodness. I was so impressed with that scene because I think way better in the comics, I think, on that scene because he eventually, if you guys don't know, the Sequids came back, trying to take over like the people in the area, trying to like multiply their numbers so they can go out and just like they're trying to, what's the word? Initiate a whole full-out invasion of Earth. They have them inside this cage, and then out of the blue, Mark comes in. He has the head guy who's in charge, who's the hive mind of all these things, and Mark is waiting for Bulletproof to come with I forgot what the little.
It's just like the sound wave
a
thing.
neutralizer to save this human, to get the Sequid that's in charge of him off of him so that he can safely save the human. But it was taking too much time. She was about to go down. So Mark made an executive decision.
Executive decision.
He killed a human. He killed a human for the better of humankind.
I watched that scene with my friends, and I loved their reaction. We were sitting there, they were watching it, and they all went, "Oh!" And it was the exact reaction I wanted because it was my reaction when I read it, where it's just like we're finally at the no holding back. You
Yep.
know, like I'm just gonna do it. But I like his response more here than in the comic books.
Oh, yeah.
Because the comic books it's played out very differently. Here he's like actually apologizing, while the other one, like in the comics, it's like, oh, I have to do this, and just
Yep.
boom. But I like the show more for this because it shows that remorse still is there, that he still cares. Like there's a part of him that doesn't want to do it, but in his head he has to do it. Like this is his one thing he has. Do you think he could? Like, do you think he had to do that? Like, do you
had
think
to
was
do
that the
it,
right
man.
call? Was that the right call?
He had to because that shield, at first it said 8%, then it said 4%, then it was literally about to break. And he could tell it too. That's why I love that scene even more because he's holding that person there and he's like, you could tell he was looking around. Like it didn't show in his eye mask, but you could tell he's waiting for that stinking neutralizer thing from Bulletproof, and he knows it's not coming. So he just went, I can't do this. Boom. Because it was what do you got to do? He's trying to save the world. He's trying to help out.
I mean,
I think it was the right decision.
I mean, there's a really cool thing they do with. I mean, think about it, it's the exact same situation he was in with Angstrom Levy. It's the exact same, has him by the throat. Instead, the difference here is with Engstrom, he hesitates and he gets away, except his arm. This case, Mark is like, no, the last time I did this, like, he got away. And the previous time I did this and I didn't finish the job, he killed hundreds of thousands of people. So I'm not going to let that happen again. Boom, dead.
Do you feel like this is the Batman thing?
What?
This is like the Batman theory of like, if Batman wouldn't put all these bad guys in Arkham, and they just keep coming out, like he should just be killing them? Do you feel like they're testing?
I think it's definitely playing on that idea.
Or just overall with superheroes?
Yeah, I think so. Because here's the thing is I think that's a very common trope where superheroes don't kill. It's just a very normal thing. For a lot of it works as a plot device because you're always able to bring the characters back. It's like, oh, they broke out again. Joker's on a rampage, you know? But I think what's so cool about Invincible is it takes that trope and challenges other people to be like, hey, like, sometimes it is worth you have to kill this person because they're going to keep coming back. And other instances, they could be saved. Think about it like Cecil's entire thing with like taking in villains and reforming them, right? That's his perspective. In Mark's case, it's sometimes, yes, you can get away with doing that. And other times you get an Engstrom, right? Where you could, I mean, in this case, he did kind of kill him, but Engstrom wasn't scared and was like, okay, I'm gonna chill out. He was like, nah, I'm gonna get my get back, you know? But I mean, what I mean is like the inverse of like, oh, Cecil's reformation goals works, but also what Mark is doing works because now the Sequids aren't gonna be a problem anymore, at least from what we know, right? They're not gonna be a problem anymore. And I think both reasons are valid, and I can't wait to see Mark sort of like understand places where he can and can't save people, or when he can and can't spare the villain, you know? Because I think that's when the show is like, dude, like that's when it's at its best, when Mark is actually challenged by like those decisions. And I like that they're already doing it here, and you're seeing him kind of like react to that by apologizing, and you'll see that again in the third episode, which we'll talk about in just a second. But you ready to move on to the second episode?
Yes.
Okay. Please. This is the episode. This is the episode that I want to talk about the most because it does something very unique. I'll give you the grand tour. It's essentially just a buddy space cop episode of Invincible with Nolan and Alan hanging out, traveling through space, finding different weapons to kill the Viltrumites. That's essentially what it is. But they do something really cool. And for all of you people that just watched the show, for you people that are comics fans, they do something where I was sitting there and I was like, I don't remember this. And my friends were like, I said, is this in the comics? And I go, I don't remember it, but I feel like I would have remembered this, but I don't. They add a completely new scene that completely gives the entire like destruction of the Viltrumites so much more depth. Nolan finally reveals, hey, this is actually what happened to my people, okay? Scourge virus. It hits, okay? And all their people die. Billions of people die. To the point where they make a ring around their own planet. It's so cool. It's so cool. And I counted. This is cool. Fun fact for you. In the comic books, that is 13 panels. That's it. In this show, they gave you an extra like 15 minutes of young Nolan fighting his parents, teaching kids, and the animation is so good. Like the choreography is crazy when he's fighting his parents. And then they do the whole like symmetry thing of like the way his mom's beating him up, same way he was beating up Invincible. Just great.
Full circle, man.
Full circle, baby. And seeing his dad practice that remorse, which is very much probably where Nolan gets his kind of like remorse aspect of him, right? Where he holds back. Just a phenomenal episode, and I really appreciated that change because it wasn't something I was expecting, and quite frankly, wasn't something that was completely necessary, but it adds so much context to like their world, and I really liked it. Like I thought it was so awesome.
Viltrumites are crazy, man.
They're crazy.
Those 15 minutes show you, like, I know Omni-Man, Conquest, they're crazy, but Viltrumites after that episode, way more crazier than I even like thought. Like even before when I was reading the comic books, I already knew they were crazy. But that scene, I didn't even know that was Nolan. You just see young Nolan teaching these kids about the history of the betrayer and the pressure. Because I was thinking, why are these kids all got frowns on them? Why? What's going on? And then the little girl starts trying to like memorize this thing about the betrayer. And as she's stumbling, trying to remember it, Nolan places a hand on her head, and I'm
Dude.
like, is he about to kill a kid? Is he? When she finally remembers,
He would have. He would have.
Yeah, he pressed his hand.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
would've.
Oh my gosh, is he still gonna do it? Did she get it wrong? And then right when it didn't happen, the thing that blows my mind even more is, all right, kids, lesson's over. Find shelter, find food, good luck. And I went, huh? They don't live with their parents?
Nah.
What? And then
Nah.
after the lesson ends, random person, second random person attacks him. Then you find out it's both his parents, and I'm like, what is this world? What are we doing? And they're like, it's your special day. I was like, what day?
What day?
He just finished class.
His birthday.
There's kids around. What are we doing?
Yeah, dude, just
crazy.
insane intense. I want to shout out the voice actors for just everyone, specifically young Nolan. It was the first time I watched Invincible, and I actually had the thought of maybe I don't like that they keep casting celebrities, because when you cast like a full-on voice actor, you can tell. Like his voice. I was trying to find the actor, and it's not listed on IMDb unless he's like listed, like unless they don't want to spoil it, because he could just be Viltrumite General, I think, but I don't recognize. Maybe that is him, actually. No, I don't know. It doesn't matter, regardless. Yeah, you could just tell when it's like a guy that's like lived in voice acting, whereas you get like your random celebrities that kind of pop in for a guest appearance, which I don't mind. I never do, but like still, I'm just like, man, so good, such good voice acting, and I think it deserves a shout out because it was phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
But dude, that entire section is just so peak, and I really liked it.
Episode 2 is my favorite episode so far.
It was too. Where do you think it ranks in terms of the whole series? Because it's rated pretty high. It's sitting at a 9.4 on IMDb.
Oh, thank God.
So it's very high.
I'll put it top 5.
You would?
I'll put it top 5.
Really?
I just love those 15 minutes, man. That came out of nowhere to me, and I was just guessing the whole time. And if the show keeps doing more of that, I'm in love.
Yeah, I agree. I like that extra stuff. I don't think it's top 5.
I think it's top.
What? Ready? I'm about to name all episodes that are better than it. Okay, you ready? Watch this. Powerplex episode, I think is better. Okay, Conquest fight, obviously better.
Oh, yeah.
Invincible War, 100% better. First episode of Invincible, I'd give it. I freaking love that episode. Omni-Man versus Invincible, episode 8 is peak. Episode 7 of season 1, where the lead up to Omni-Man sort of finally turning, peak. Hot take, but here's the thing: is I'm just a big this part fan. Angstrom versus Mark the first time is one of my favorite comic things ever. Here's why. It was the first thing that like actually hooked me on the comic, because up until the point I'd watched the whole first season multiple times. I was like, I'm just gonna read the comic. I gotta get this through. The Angstrom part sold me, where I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep reading because it's so good. So sorry, I mean, you're valid. I think this is such a valid opinion because I'm seeing everyone say this is top 5 episodes ever.
I gotta go with it. Top 5.
For me, it's that first 15 minutes is good. Excuse me, first 15 minutes is awesome. It's so peak. After, it's really good, and I love the chemistry between Alan and Nolan. I love them going through space. I love the sci-fi world of Invincible. I think it's so cool. But I just don't think it compares to those other episodes that I think are just much more rewatchable. But still, not undermining this episode. I think it's absolutely incredible. I think it's fantastic. And can I just say something?
Yeah, go for it.
J.K. Simmons, by the way, such a good voice actor.
Oh, yeah.
He's such a good voice actor. And for one reason, the final bit at the end, when it's revealed the betrayer was Thaddeus, the head of the coalition, and he was the one that made the Scourge virus.
Oh, man.
Nolan's freaking delivery is so good.
Better than the comic book.
No, way better.
comic book.
It's so good. His entire like look of just like fear strikes us in. Even though we know how freaking confident like Omni-Man is, that man can fight. That man can throw hands. But Thaddeus defeated their king, King Argyle, right? Yes, that's the lineage. King Argyle. And it's like, oh, I don't know if he's gonna do that. But also looking straight into the man that killed billions of your people, including your father.
Oh man.
And the scene where he like sees his father and he throws his body out of the thing, like that plays so well into what happens later when he discovers that Thaddeus did that.
That's why I love that episode.
Because you know his dad maybe wasn't the worst person.
Yeah.
Even though we understand that the Village Mites are awful people. And another great conversation, Alan and Omni-Man had that great conversation about how like he still feels for his people even though they suck. Like I like what Omni-Man says about how to us it was just our duty.
Yep.
And Alan completely rebuttals that with, that doesn't make it okay. Like that doesn't mean you guys are fine, but it does help you add the context of, oh, I understand where Omni-Man was thinking. Because we can't understand it. Because how could you do that? But to them, that was normal. That was just how they lived. And even though an Omni-Man like kind of hates on their kind and hates where he goes, he still defends what they did sometimes. Because he says, I mean, we did stop wars. We did help planets, but we didn't help all the planets. We didn't help a lot of them. A lot of them did suffer. A lot of them didn't respond to us well, and we killed them all. It's just really good moral conversations, and it's why I love Invincible so much, because I think that's when it's at its best.
That's why those 15 minutes were so good, man.
So good.
It plays out. Like, it just gives you good depth on Omni-Man / Nolan, for you all who don't know, and it just lets you feel remorse for him. Like, I'm just so impressed with that episode, man. I'm so impressed. And I can't believe we still have 5 more episodes to go.
It was literally like, how do you feel bad for someone that, like, you watch, like, destroy an entire city and murder the greatest heroes on Earth and then proceed to go up to a different planet and have another baby with another woman and kind of lie to your son and rope him into this whole, like, how could you like a man like that? But you see what happens and you're just like, dude, like, man, like, I feel bad, you know? Just some great stuff happening. Let's go move on to the final episode. I gotta get some air. This is where everything comes sort of clash into a halt. But it also has my favorite Oliver scene, I think, ever. And it's the scene when he gets his suit.
Oh, okay.
This is what I wanted to finally talk about. I talked about it previously. He gets a new suit. Oliver gets a new suit that I think is far better than the one he was wearing. You know, it kind of move away from the whole like Robin thing and kind of moves into Nightwing, where it's like just 2 colors as opposed to multiple, you know?
It's kind of like Nightwing.
Yeah, just red instead. And I just think that's, I don't know if that's like the reason for that, because it doesn't look like Nightwing's suit, but I think like the colors like just kind of remind me of that vibe. Regardless, I love that he keeps the O, the Omni-Man symbol, and his response is like, so many people watched me save like people with this. It has a new meaning, and it's like I gave it a better meaning, and I'm like, you go, Oliver. I freaking love that kid, dude.
You said that in the comics too.
I don't remember it. So like a lot of the smaller individual conversations I don't really remember. It's a lot of the big stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. But I love that conversation so much. And it just like reinforces why I love Oliver so much, because I think he's a character that on the surface can come off as really annoying, rash, and just like all over the place, doesn't understand responsibility because he's a kid. But also, I love it so much because I think you get to really watch him grow, where Mark starts at a place where he's a little bit more mature because he's like 17, but he starts at a place where he's like 2 weeks old. Like he's like a month old or whatever, but like really like he's like 6 or 7 when he gets his age, you know, or he gets his powers. And watching his growth is so different compared to Invincible is because he's sort of getting all of that realization a lot faster than he did. And I don't know. I love Oliver so much. I think it's really good stuff.
Nah, man. I actually didn't have too much to say about episode 3 besides I love that they gave us more Titan stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I like that part. But besides that, I was still kind of like, okay. I mean, it's episode 3. This doesn't have to be the best episode.
You don't like the dragon fight?
Not that much.
Really?
I thought it was cool towards the end, but I wasn't too into it.
Okay, understandable. I really liked it. I don't know. Watching him and Oliver work together was so cool, where they're punching the dragon in the face and they're bouncing around. But they do something in this episode that got me so hype, and I didn't realize a song could have so much meaning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
the song was good.
Dude, when the Flaxons come back and the dum dum dum, I sat up, I was like, no, I got so excited.
I love that that's the theme for the Flaxons.
Yes, it's so cool. And you wouldn't think that like matters until they did it again 3 years or since 2020, 6 years later. Like, that's what I'm saying, is that's crazy. But I've watched the first season so many times that like I remember it. So when they played it, I like sat up and I geeked. My friends go, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Guys, they're back." And then like it just good. And then obviously all the stuff with like Robot and Monster Girl getting stuck in the Flaxen dimension, which I'm really excited to see what happens there.
I'm curious.
I'm really curious too, because I have no idea what happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, fantastic stuff. I think that's a really good episode. I think similarly to episode 1, where it's just like, this is why I like the villain of the week part of Invincible, where it's just fun, good time, good stuff. But I had a thought too, and this is really fast before we move on, because I know we have to move on to the next thing. You know what's something that doesn't bug me about the animation? And I think I've said this before, but I don't know if I have, so I'm going to say it again. I think the reason why I don't hate the animation is because like this feels like a kid's cartoon, just more adult. Where when I watch Spectacular Spider-Man or Ultimate Spider-Man or the original 90s X-Men cartoon, you know, X-Men 97, I understand, different conversation. But like when you watch a lot of these older superhero cartoons, I'm not expecting great animation, you know? Like that's just not what I want, you know? I'm looking for just good writing, good characters, and fun fights, you know? And that's what I want. And I think this show is nailing that every single time. We're sure, like, sometimes it looks like a PNG is just moving on the screen. Sure. But then freaking Oliver and Mark juggle a dragon, and I'm like, not literally, but like punch, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this is awesome, and this is what I want. So just want to say that. When you're sitting there and you're like, why does this look like my animes? Trust me, I watch a lot of anime too, okay? I understand. Quite frankly, I wish it looked like that, if I'm being 100% honest, and I'll always dink the show on that, but it's still great. Yeah. It's still so damn good, and if you're not watching it because you're like, bad animation, you're missing out on some peak stuff, dude. That's all I'm gonna say.
Really are, man.
I'm gonna say.
Gotta pay attention to the story.
Yeah, gotta pay attention to the story.